Hi there, Andrew here. I love to be entertained, but I have no patience, so I give every new show I watch only one episode to hook me. Welcome to Debut Review. Cuphead. Haven't played it. Haven't watched it either. But I shall fix that momentarily. Will I fix the fact that I haven't played it? I don't know. Am I afraid that it's too hard for a casual gamer like me? Well, I'll have you know that not only did I beat Kirby's Epic Yarn, I 100%ed it. So, I've not played Cuphead. I would like to. Looks fun. I like the art style. I think that's very attractive. But I don't own the game, so let's see. Show description. Follow the misadventures of the impulsive Cuphead and his easily swayed brother Mugman in this animated series based on the hit video game. Okay, that's about as generic as you can get. Okay, so it's an animated adaptation of the video game. My understanding of the video game is Cuphead and Mugman, like, make a deal with the devil to steal the souls of a bunch of people who, I guess, owe the devil money. Like, I guess they lose in a casino or something, and the devil's like, hey, either pay up or go collect these other outstanding gambling debt souls. So, it says 12 episodes, so maybe each episode is Cuphead and Mugman tracking down one of the boss fights from the video game and shaking him down for a contract, a passport. What do you get? I think you just beat them up. I don't remember. Again, I have not played the game, so that's why I'm a little iffy. Although I do know that there's Barbershop in the game somewhere, which automatically makes it cool, because Barbershop, unbeknownst to many, is very cool. Okay, Cuphead. Let's see what we got. Huh. Huh. Short episodes. I, had assumed they'd be, like regular 22-minute episodes. No, they seem to average about 15 minutes apiece. Which, you know what, actually turns out fine, because this show's not very good. I mean, at least the first episode. I mean, maybe it hits its stride later in the season, 12 episodes in all, but yeah, it wasn't particularly bowled over by this debut episode. What I find interesting is the old animation style, the old 20s, 30s noodly armed design aesthetic is limited solely to the character design. Not the animation, not the backgrounds for the most part, not even the posing and facial expressions for the most part. There's a couple individual poses and facial expressions that are reminiscent of what you would have seen in early animation work, but most of it, it kind of feels like, what if animation character design had never changed, but technology and animation technique had evolved over the decades? You might get a show that looks like Cuphead. It is interesting looking. It is interesting seeing that deliberately anachronistic character design with more modern animation techniques. And there's an interesting mix here, too. Most of it appears to be hand-drawn. There's CG assist. Hand-drawn backgrounds, although one of the backgrounds, at least, appears to be a handcrafted model, which is an interesting choice. So, in this story, Mugman and Cuphead shirk their chores to go to a carnival that's run by the devil because he's rigged all the carnival games, and the carnival games you're betting your soul. Well, Cuphead's like really good at skee-ball, and everyone's fawning over how good he is at skee-ball, so no one's losing their souls. So the devil goes up and chases them around. Well, Mugman's like, oh my gosh, look, it's the devil! And he bumps Cuphead and he misses, so he loses his soul, but they steal the soul back. And then they run around in one of the most boring animated chase sequences I have ever seen in any cartoon ever. I mean, it is utterly lifeless and completely devoid of, well, not creativity or imagination, but humor. I mean, there's a couple jokes, they just don't really land. I mean, imagine, you've seen Tom and Jerry cartoons, right? This is not going to make sense if you haven't. But imagine, you know, Tom chasing Jerry, or Wile E. Coyote chasing the Roadrunner for like 90 seconds or 2 minutes, and nothing particularly interesting happens. They just chase each other to different rooms of a house or different locations out in the desert. Like, nothing particularly creative or funny or surreal happens. They're just chasing each other for 2 minutes. It's pretty dull. It looks like they wanted Tim Curry for the devil, but couldn't afford him. Good job, Tim. Demanding a high price, I see. Well done, sir. You deserve it. Whoever they got to voice the devil is not doing an impression of Tim Curry so much, but definitely using a lot of Tim Curry mannerisms in his style of delivery, which he occasionally just completely drops. So I don't like most of the voice work in this show. Not that the acting is poor, not that they're poor performances. I just don't like the choices. Like, I don't like Mugman and Cuphead's voice. That, your mileage may vary. I don't like the voices. I don't think they fit the characters. I don't think they're particularly fun to listen to. I think even the same actors could have voiced these characters, just gone with a different voice. I think it's the wrong choice for the character voices. Music's good. The opening Cuphead theme song is I liked that quite a bit. The Devil's song is okay. Looks like this show's going to have good music, but most of the humor just doesn't land. There's a fun gag with some pancakes that sells. And there is one sequence where the chase sequence, right? So the devil chases them by simply kind of floating after them. He doesn't have a particularly interesting or varied way to locomote after them, just kind of floats after them, shooting fireballs at them. And they run past one of those stand boards that have a picture of two people with the faces cut out, so you can put your own face there and have someone take a picture. They run past it, then they run back and stand, and someone takes a picture, and then they keep running. Okay, it's a joke. It's just not that interesting or funny. Then they run it. Then they get on a merry-go-round, and then the merry-go-round turns into skeleton horses. So they get off the merry-go-round and they get on a roller coaster. But the devil's on the roller coaster, so they get off the roller coaster and run into a funhouse. And there's a lot of booby traps in the funhouse, like saw blades and stuff. And they just run through the funhouse for like a solid 30 seconds, and nothing particularly imaginative or creative or funny or interesting happens. They're just running. It's boring. There was some there was some admirable creativity in the various ways that Cuphead plays the skee ball game. You know, he rolls it, he overhands it, throws it over the shoulder, balances the ball on the rim of his cup head, and then throws it. You know, sucks the ball into the straw in his cup, and boom, you know, there's some nice stuff there. So that's nice. Yeah, I didn't care for it. I like the idea of using the aesthetics of 20s 30s animation design, because you don't see that these days. So that's unique. I think it's a good idea. I think that's the basis of a unique look. I don't even mind the juxtaposition of the old anachronistic character design with modern, you know, digital animation and coloring techniques. I'm okay with that. Me personally, I would have gone a bit more old school, or at least tried to ape the old school look a bit more. You know, do more than just the character design. You know, actually do the animation and the posing and the music. But it's the rest of it's actually quite modern. Not a problem, not a strike against the show, I don't think. But you know, if I were the showrunner, I probably would have gone in a different direction. Voices aren't working for me. Not the performances. Performances are fine. I just don't like the choices they made with the various character voices. Mainly it falls flat for me because it's just not interesting or fun or funny or particularly creative. It's only 15 minutes and I found it genuinely really dull. So, short episodes, but I'm not going to continue watching. Hopefully it gets better, and fans of the Cuphead video game found it appealing. But I guess you know, like the season of Cuphead is just like the video game itself. I just couldn't get through it.